Okay, today we're going over spring semester final review. We're doing the circled problems. So starting with number 2, in order to solve this problem, what would we need to do?
Get the same bases.
Exactly. So what base could we use? 2. Okay, so 8 is 2 to what power?
2 to the third.
And then you already have the 3x there, so you have the 3x. And then equals, and 4 is going to be what? 2 to the second, and then we already have 2x minus 5. Once your bases are the same, then we can, good, and then we solve. So I have 9x equals, and we have 4x minus 10. We'd subtract 4x to both sides, and we get 5x equals negative 10, which means x will equal negative 2, and the answer is A. I just multiplied 2 through here.
No, but like, why didn't you move it?
Because you want all the x's together.
Oh.
So I had the 9x on the other side. Okay, good. Anything else? All right, number 3. So when you're dealing with logs, you want to try to condense them so that you have a single log on both sides. So if they are adding, how will we condense them? They change to multiplication. So this will be log base 3, and then x times 5, I'm going to write that as 5x, equals log base 3 of 80. Okay? Once you have a single log on both sides, what happens? We drop the logs. Okay, so now all I have is 5x equals 80, divide by 5, and we get x equals 16, which is B as in boy. Okay? Questions on 3? Number 4. So we have log of 4 plus log of 3. They want this written as a single log. So again, how do I condense them? You multiply them. You can't add these together. When you put addition together, it becomes multiplication. So we have log of 12. So the answer is D. If you get mixed up on any of these log rules, where should you write them? On your index card, yeah. Okay, so make sure that you write down anything you're struggling with. All right, number 6. So this one tells us that log 5 equals K, and they want us to find log 25. So how could I write 25 in terms of 5? Or 5 to the second power. So you could write it either way, but I'm going to write this as log of 5 to the second power. And then what do you do with your exponents? They get brought in front. So we have 2 log 5. And then if I have 2 log 5, that means I have 2k. And that's your answer. If you had done log of 5 times 5, then you would expand it to be log 5 plus log 5. And then you'd have k plus k, which would make 2k. Questions on 6. Moving on to number 9. Who knows what to do on number 9? Okay, 2 to the negative 4 equals x. So we wrote that in an exponential form. And then how do we get rid of the negative exponent? 1 over 2 to the 4th. And then you'll end up getting 1 over 16. Any questions there? No? Okay. All right, number 10. So you have a couple options there. Anytime you're finding the answer to a log, you can always write equals x. Okay? Or if you can get them to be the same base, remember if you have the same base as your, like if this was 16 and then 16 to some power, you cancel them out and your answer is your power. In this case, I think the easiest thing to do is put equals x. So when I rewrite this in exponential form, what will it become? Now that we have that, we need to get what? Like bases. What base should we use? 4. So 16 is going to be what? 4 to the 2x equals, and then 64 would be what? 4 to the third, but we don't want it as a fraction, so when I bring it up, it's going to become what? 4 to the negative third. So then these cancel. We have 2x equals negative 3, divide by 2, and we get x equals negative 3 over 2. Questions? All right, number 11. So we have x to the 1/2 power equals 1/4. How can we get rid of a half power? Good, you take it to the reciprocal power, which would be 2 over 1. Okay, or 2. So here that all cancels out, so we just get x equals, and then 1/4 to the second power will make what? So 1 squared would be 1, and 4 squared is, okay? All right, number 12. So remember, when you're condensing logs, what do you do to condense these? Multiply. So first step is good, right?
Yeah.
Okay, second step, they got rid of the log. Is that possible? No. In order to drop the log, you need to do what? Have it on both sides. At this point, if you want to get rid of the log, you would have changed it to which form? Exponential form. Okay, so step 2 is where the error is, so B was the answer.
How would you solve that?
To do it the correct way?
Yeah.
So, like I said, at this point, to get rid of the log, you change it to 6 to the second power equals 2x. And then you would have 36 equals 2x, and divide by 2 to get x equals 18. Okay. All right. Oh, do you guys want me to talk about 13? We'll just move on. Do you guys remember this one?
You drop the ones, right?
You can't, well, you don't drop the logs in this one. Normally, when we are like expanding or condensing, you'd have log of 15 over 5, and that would change to be log 15 minus log 5 when you expand it. But this has a log over a log. So when you have a log over a log and you want to write it as a single log, remember that these are actually base 10s, right? And you cancel those bases out, and then this ends up becoming log base 5 of 15. So your bottom number becomes your base number, and then the 15 stays there. Are we good there? All right, 14. On this one, do you guys remember what I think you should do?
The little chart there. The 2, 0, -2.
You were right, but on this one, you can't really do that because they don't give you an equation. You're just looking at the graph, okay? And so the values that are getting closest to the x-axis are the values that are going this direction. So what x values are going that direction? Negative values. So you're going to choose your largest negative value. And in this case, it would be C. Yes? Moving on. Okay, 16, and we just talked about 16. So here, and this has like multiple steps. So we cancel out the 12s. This becomes log base 2 of 16. And you're like, you think you're done, so you look for log base 2 of 16, but is it there? No. So then you're like, okay, let's see if I can simplify it further. You can write 16 as 2 to the 4th, or like I said before, you can just write this equals x, and then change it to exponential form. So that would be 2 to the x power equals 16. And then 16 can be written as 2 to the 4th power, and you get x equals 4. So that's why A is actually the correct answer. This is just another way of solving it where you change it to the same basis. Questions on 16? Moving on.
Answer was D, right?
The answer was A.
Oh.
Do you need to look at that again real quick?
Is that like a big answer?
Are we okay with that?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. All right. Right up here next to that other one.
This side or?
That side. Say that again. Yeah. Oh, did you go by the Deacon's room? Yeah. And they didn't have the purple thing? So we're looking for the purple and the shoe protector things. Okay. All right. So on this one, 19, I forgot to have you do this, but I put graph y equals x squared plus 6x plus 9. So basically, what I did is, first of all, notice how this is going down. The xi is going down. Do you guys see that? So you know it's going to be either C or D. Hold on a second here. Oh, I was giving a different question. But so C is negative, and if you look, this goes up 1, 2, 3. It goes up around 4. On this one, see the vertex here would be at negative 4, comma 0. Do you see that? So that would be going left 4, up 0. So your parabola would be, the vertex would be there. On this one, it goes up 4, and it's going down. Okay? Now, do you guys know how to graph y equals x squared plus 6x plus 9? You could do the diamond thing. If you did the diamond thing on this, okay, so what multiplies by 9 and adds to be 6, what would it be? 3 and 3. So when you're writing that, it would be x plus 3, x plus 3, because they're both positives, or y equals x plus 3 squared. Okay? Or you could do the negative b over 2a thing, and you'll get the same answer. But so this vertex is going to be negative 3, comma 0. That's the vertex. Yes?
So we find out for A and B, I mean A and C would be the negative B over 2A.
Yeah, so if you just want to find the vertex and you don't want to put it in this form, which you can do that, you would go negative 6 over 2 times 1, because that's, so you have negative 6 over 3, which is negative 3.
Like based off A and C though.
So this one, since you have x squared all by itself, okay, the vertex, the xi of the vertex is 0, and then the number at the end, that's your y. So that vertex is 0, 4. This vertex is negative 4, 0, because you take opposite of parentheses, and then whatever's adding at the end, there's nothing there, that's 0. On this one, the vertex is at 0, 4. So each of these have like the same vertexes, but this one is going up, curving up, and this one's curving down. This one's curving up, this one's curving down. Are we okay now? All right. Any other questions on 19 and this other one, which is kind of like 19 but not exactly? Okay. All right, number 20. I actually have this one already worked out. They want to find the radius. So when you're finding the radius, a lot of students will choose 3 or 9, but that is incorrect because it is not in standard form. So you have to complete the square, okay? So that's why I have x squared plus 8x plus blank, and then plus y squared equals 9 plus the blank. And then you go through and complete the square, and this ends up being 25. But remember, you have to take the square root of that number, which ends up being 5. So just remember, when you're finding these answers, they need to be in your standard form or descriptive form.
So you don't do anything with the y? Like, no.
Right, if there was like plus 2y or plus y, then you would complete the square with the y as well. But if there's only a y squared term, that means that like the y value is going to end up being 0.
Okay.
Any questions on 20? Moving on then.
I got it.
Okay, 24. What do we have to do first on 24?
Here you go.
Okay, I'm just gonna